And my goal is to do whatever it takes to help you hashtag keep dualpreneurs in business, help you stay in business, help you start your business, help you grow your business, help you sustain your business, especially in challenging times. If you are watching this after the pandemic, after the quarantine, bless your heart, you survived, but these tips still apply, so you can still leverage them. If you're watching it during the pandemic and the quarantine, these tips will help you through some of the most challenging times that we have. So I am excited to be here today, yet another day. I think we're working on week number 3 or 4. I'm not sure. Ayana's probably going to have to tell me where we are with that, but it's been a wonderful ride. And before we get into what this session is really about, I want to tell you all a story. Okay. So there was this guy, and he decided he wanted to go out and find a girlfriend. He wanted a girlfriend. So he went to the clubs, he went everywhere. And you know what he was looking for? He was just really looking for someone to hang out with, someone that he can be intimate with, but hang out with. So he went to different places. He went to the churches, he went to the clubs, he went everywhere. And so when he went certain places, he would approach them and ask them, hey, can we get together? Can we hang out? Can we sleep together? Whatever. And he would always get the wrong response. He would always get, no, I don't know you. How dare you ask me something like that? That's rude. Especially when he went to church and he thought, you know, church girls, oh, they're bad girls too, right? Got the wrong response. And then then one of his friends said, dude, you're playing this all wrong. You can't just go up to a woman and then ask her, hey, can we just sleep together, and expect her to say, oh, cool, not unless she's wanting the same thing. And in order for you to find that out, you got to get to know the female, and it depends on where you go. Don't go to a church trying to do that. Don't go to the grocery store necessarily trying to do that. Don't go to certain clubs or restaurants or bars and try to do that. You got to understand who you are trying to market and approach them accordingly, right? And even if that is a type of relationship that you want, you got to kind of court them. You got to get to know them. You got to build a relationship so that you're clear as to what the expectations are of what you want and what they want. Because you might get with someone and they may say, oh yeah, let's do this, but they really want to get married. And if you don't want to get married, but you connect with someone and they want to get married, that's going to cause conflicts. I tell you that story because that's the same dance that we do when we are in business with clients, right? There are certain things that we want. Some of us just want that wham, bam, thank you, ma'am transaction. Look, just buy my stuff, right? And then there's other ones that want to find clients that they can work with on a continuous basis, like Apple. Apple wants to get you in their little circle, and they want you to get the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, the MacBook, and then they want to update on you, and they want you to buy all the updates, and then they want to update that and buy. They want a long-term relationship. They want a marriage. And you'll notice that iPhone people, iOS people are Apple people. They are not Droid people, right? Droiders, I am a droider. I am not an Apple person. I will use an Apple like I'm using a computer right now that is a Mac, but I will not go out to purchase a Mac. I will not go out to purchase an iPhone or an iPad. But on the same respect, an Apple person, they will not touch a Droid. They don't believe it, right? Yeah. So they are in it for the long-term relationships for their clients. They're trying to get a relationship. Now, depending on the relationship, you need to determine what your ideal client is. I have an idea of what my husband is going to look like. He's going to be fine, right? He's going to be fine. He's going to make some money. Like, I got my whole thing down, right? But who I want to marry will dictate where I may need to go to be found or to find him, right? The guy that I may want to marry may not be at the bar. You know, that may not be where he is. He may not even be at a church. He might be at a business networking site, but I need to know that. I need to know what I'm looking for. And then I need to be very clear with that person that I'm talking to. And so we need to be very clear with our clients on the services we provide and solve a problem. But I say all this to say is that it's all about building a relationship, regardless of what you want to sell, need to sell. in order to really get the sale, you got to understand relationship marketing. Which leads me to the most fabulous, the most beautifulest girl in this world is just like that, right? I had to call my big guns,
I love
my
you, girl.
business and marketing expert, Tashana Thompson, who is going to share with us, right? Big hearts, who is going to share with us what relationship marketing is, why is so important, and then how do we do it just a little bit. So Tashana, thank you so much for joining me today and joining the Dualpreneurs and sharing and giving and pouring into the Dualpreneurs. I so appreciate you.
I so appreciate you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be before you, and you know what I think of you. And I'm just excited to talk to your audience and talk about these relationships.
I know,
You
right?
know,
Let's get right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and then, how do we master relationship marketing, and what is it, and how do we really do that?
sure, sure. Well, again, I'm Tashana Thompson. Hey, y'all. Hey, and I am the owner of Beyond Business Solutions. I've been in business for 13 years. And I'm a marketing strategist, a relationship marketing strategist. And I really help people leverage their business relationships both online and off, right? And I have so much that I want to pour out of myself on you, but I love this story this Miss Madam Money just told us, right? It's all the good tea about how we really need to approach our business relationships as well, right? I think a lot of times people are desperate. We had a conversation about that the other day. They're desperate and they are looking for the easy transaction, the hookup. Buy something today and send me on my way, right? Right. Buy something today and send me on my way. But it has been my experience over the ebbs and flows of 13 years being in business for myself that the one thing that has sustained me is my relationships. And the reason why I'm before you tonight is because of this relationship that we've built. Um, Met many, many years ago. You done moved and left me and all that, right? And still being able to maintain that relationship online and feeling like you know a person, right? You look at somebody's timeline, you're like, oh, what's she doing today? You know, you feel like you're keeping in touch with people. And that's what we've done for all of these years, really kept in touch. And if you are not leveraging your relationships, especially during this time, you're not going to make it. People that don't have good relationships in a time like this are going to have a really, really hard time bringing in new business, being on people's platforms to speak and share what they do. So I want to have you guys look at, ladies and audience, look at things from a different perspective, really back up and focus on the first thing is identifying your ideal client, right? You talked about going to the bars or go to church or do I go to the networking event or where is your ideal client? And typically you'll have a primary brand avatar and a secondary brand avatar. And after you're able to make that connection, let's just say it's at a networking event. I think we met at a networking event way back when. What are you doing to follow up with that person? Well, back up. When you're at that event, how are you getting to know them? Are you selling them a dream? Right? Are you selling them the hopes of, what your business can do? Or are you connecting? Are you telling them who you are? Right? Are you saying, hey, my name's Tashana. I met my husband on Tinder. There's hope. Whatever the case may be. You might not say all that at a networking event, but as you get to know people, you'll find ways to connect. You had a toddler? Oh, I got a toddler too. She can know your nerves. She can know my nerves too. You find the commonality and you find ways to connect with people. Identify your ideal client and let's go out and find them. So you found, let's just say that you found 20 people at a networking group that you really liked. You've been to a few events, you have identified 20 people that you like, you kind of feel a connection to, and also have a complementary service or business to yours, that it makes sense for y'all to be in touch. Because I don't want to tell you that everybody you meet, what my mama say, you can't show your feet to every man you'll meet. So not everybody you meet is going to be your ideal client or somebody that you even want to have a connection with. So understand that. But identify, okay, I went to this meeting, I have a stack of business cards, because folks still giving business cards. Let me star them while I'm there, or whatever the case may be, and pull out the ones that really align. And I think that there could be some synergy, and follow up. There's no point in going networking if you're not going to ever say nothing to them again. You could have stayed home, saved your gas and your ticket price, your lunch, or whatever it was. So follow up with an email and schedule a virtual coffee. I don't recommend it, especially now, but even before this, don't be driving all across town when you can get out again. Schedule some virtual meetings and get to know people and get to know them from an authentic place. Yeah, I know what you do, get that out of the way, but figure out how you can be of service to them. Is there something I can help you with? Is there somebody, what kind of person are you looking for in your business? Are there some pain points that you need to address? Are you looking for someone to help you, with accounting? People mention all kind of stuff when you get to talking, right? So how can you be of service? So schedule that virtual coffee and then identify ways that you can really be of service. And I want you to take a step back, and especially right now, a lot of people, people still spending money, don't get me wrong, but they're a lot more intentional with that purchase, right? They want to know something about you. So you want to make sure that you are making it easy to connect with folks. So whether that be that when you get back from this virtual coffee, if you haven't already connected with them on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on all the platforms, ask for permission, add them to your email list, those types of things, right? We want to have places to touch people. We have to have touch points. And the whole point of this is we are trying to develop that know, like, and trust factor, right? I'm an only child, so I keep saying right because I want y'all to not. I need validation. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. So, we want them to know and like and trust you. So what are you going to give them so they can do that? Right? Consistency is key. So if you guys are Facebook friends, reaching out every once in a while, hey, how you doing? A quick message. Make sure you're posting to your pages. Make sure you're commenting on their stuff, and they come across your feed as having a birthday. Oh, girl, happy birthday. Stay engaged, right? It's all about really thinking of it as if you're going through the courtship phase, right? You've met somebody real nice and fly, right? And you like that person. It's the initial meeting, like I discussed before, and they become curious about you, and they show up for your things. They show up to support your events. You do the same. You reciprocate. It's not one-sided. You show up to support people. I'm like, oh, you know what, Miss Madam Money, I'm thinking that I could refer that person to you because you're really on my radar now, right? You're in my circle. You're really on my radar. Let me refer that person to you. And you know what? We've been kind of going back and forth and talking casually online. I wonder if you could help me with this project. But you have to be patient. have to really be patient and understand that it's all about nurturing those relationships, not stalking. Don't get on folks' nerves by being too clingy and hands-on, but add them to your group, add them to your whatever, and you'll be able to tell really quickly who is, interested in what you're bringing and who isn't, and who you're interested in and who you're not.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
Really to bring home what you're saying, because you're confirming a lot what Lori Mans talked about on Monday about the like,
Hmm.
know, and trust factor, and how to definitely authenticity is very, very important, right? And we talked about this before, is that when people come off as disingenuous, is
Yes.
because there is an air of desperation,
Hmm.
and desperation repels not only clients, but your future husband, your future girlfriend. It just, desperation repels everything. And so the more desperate you are, it kind of reeks it. And
Right.
so then you become disingenuous in your conversation, disingenuous in your follow-up, disingenuous in your reaching out, right? And so when you were talking about when you go to a networking event, going to networking events and that whole process reminds me of way back in the day before we had cell phones. We used to
Hmm.
get people's phone numbers, right? We used to go out to the club, we would meet people, and then we were like, can I get your phone number? And they used to write, remember, we used to write down people's phone numbers, write it on the hand, whatever. So whatever. Y'all are that old. Y'all are just as old as me, right? So we would get a whole bunch of phone numbers. And
Hmm.
sometimes, I mean, men do it, but women, we did too. How many phone numbers could we get, right? And so we would get the phone numbers, and then maybe the next day we may call each of those people. The reason why we're calling those people is to see if there's some kind of synergy or energy, or do I really want to get to know this person, or do I really want to go out on a date
Absolutely.
with this person, or are they just, was I really that drunk the night before? Don't judge.
Right.
Don't judge. Y'all know
Right.
y'all did it too. So that helps us to determine, and it could be one or two people, or that one person that you want to continue to have a conversation with. And so you schedule, maybe we can go hang out and do lunch, or maybe we can go out, club it again, or maybe we can see how this thing goes. And then you begin to spend more time, and you start asking probing questions, because you want to get to know the person, because they seem really cool, right?
Right.
And so when they seem really cool, maybe there is that connection. Or it could be that it's a really nice person and y'all could really be friends, but that person may be really good for your girlfriend, or maybe really good for somebody else. But
Absolutely.
they really, really cool. I mean, I have a best friend now that we started off trying to get together, and the synergy, and we had fun together, but we just realized we were better off friends. And I would refer other girlfriends to go, he's a really nice guy, you should really get to know him, or whatever. That whole process is the same thing we do with business. We go to
Hmm.
networking events, we get business cards, e-cards, cell phone numbers. I promise you, if I want to talk to you, I will put you in my cell phone right now. If I don't want to talk to you, I will take your business card, and you will go in a stack of business cards. That's just the reality. Because if I really have an immediate connection and I need to talk to you, and you'll notice this about people, if they really need
Hmm.
to contact you and connect with you, they'll say, what's your number? They'll get their phone out, then they'll immediately text you.
Exactly.
That puts you
It's
at the
so
top of
true.
their text. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to collect a whole bunch of business cards. And if they don't write how they met you, why they met you, or whatever, you may or may not get contacted. But with the follow-up, is what I'm understanding is that it's like calling the phone numbers back that you got the night before. Hey, it was really
Absolutely.
nice to meet you. You seem really cool. Tell me about yourself. So it gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more, to see where the relationship is going to go. Are they a potential client? Are they a potential referral? Or can I refer them to my clients? And that's how you can determine. And then from there is when you can start cultivating more relationships. Because Tashana and I, when we met, we didn't immediately do business together.
No.
It was just cool. We were cool.
Yeah, it's just
And
cool.
sometimes it takes years before business actually happens. But I've referred people to her. she's probably referred people to me. And so I've gotten business, maybe not from her, but she has produced business for me. And that relationship alone makes it extremely lucrative, because I probably made more money off the people she referred to me than if she had used my services.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. Do you have people in your network and in your circle through that process that are willing to share your events, share what you have going on, right? And really be an advocate for you. Because just because they don't need your service or they're not an ideal client for you does not mean that they cannot help you further your brand and really put your brand out there in a real way. And when you have people that like you, and you got to give them something to like. There's a lot of people that want to stay in a box. So I don't want to tell nobody, and I'm really private. Well, girl, go home. Like, there, this just isn't the space. This isn't the space, and this isn't the time. We're looking for genuine connections with people. You have to be willing to show people your hearts, especially now. You have to be willing to lay aside the dollar for today. That might be $50 for the 50,000 that may come later. Because you know what? I was thinking about you and I saw that you were speaking, and you know what? I want to connect you here. And people
Shauna,
sharing across networks, right?
that has made me more money. Like, they may not have been a client of mine, which may have been 500, but they connected me to an organization that hired me to speak for $5,000.
Exactly. And I think that that's where we get hung up, the small
That is
change.
about relationship. It is relationship marketing, and people forget that's a part of the marketing. You have to market yourself and put yourself out there so people know who you are, how, what's problems you solve, so that whether they need you or not, they're going to find somebody that's going to need you.
Right. And let's talk about some of those problems that people find when trying to create relationships through their marketing and really cultivate them and maintain that, nurture them and all this, and leverage them so they can actually make some money. We just ain't consistent. A lot of people just aren't consistent. You're busy trying to work both jobs. It's just you as a solopreneur, micropreneur. You don't have the dollars to invest on really having a presence, and you let it go. You're not on social, personal, or otherwise, or business. You're not sending an email. You're not putting yourself out there in any way, and people will forget about you. That's just how it is. We have to stay top of mind with people. And the way that we do that is through consistent content. Consistently sharing, whether you're curating content or developing your own vlogs and videos and blogs, and, doing your own events or being on other people's platforms. We have to stay relevant, right? People think that they can go in a tunnel for months at a time and that people are not going or just going to remember them. I had someone tell me years ago, well, all my business is from referrals, so I don't have to really market myself on social media or in an email because all my business is referral. And I said, well, honey, people think about you every day. Just, your random colleagues, they thinking about you to refer you. You know how many times I've heard, oh, Tashana, your baby came up in my timeline today, and my friend needed that, and it made me think of you again. So, you have to stay top of mind, and not because you're trying to shove something down somebody's throat to buy.
So, Tashana, I want to bring in another example.
Sure.
Facebook will give you reasons to stay top of mind of everyone because they have memories.
Yep.
They have the memories of what you may have done or seen or whatever a year ago, 5 years ago, or whatever. And the memories probably does a lot of marketing for you in some respect. But in order for those memories to pop up for people, you have had to have engaged with them at some point. even if it was a year ago.
Right.
Facebook helps you with the building relationship and engaging because of birthdays. Every day somebody's got a birthday, and every day it gives you a reason to stay top of mind on hundreds of people.
Right.
And we even talked about this over the phone, that sometimes I'll randomly go through my phone and people that I hadn't talked to or communicated with in a while, I'll just do a litmus and say, hey, just checking in, haven't talked to you in a while, how are you doing? And the
Right.
only reason why I'm doing that is to get at the top of their text messaging. Because after you get around 20 text messages, I'm not scrolling down that far.
Mm-mm.
And if you're not in the top 10 text messages, you're lost, you're gone. And so sometimes you need to just text someone or email someone to get at the top of their view so that you stay top of mind. That's why the email marketing that you mentioned is so important, or the text marketing is so important, or the social media marketing is so important. It's important to stay top of mind, because I may not need you now, but 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, I might need something, or a client might need something. And if I can't remember you, I'm going to refer them to someone else who's at the top of mind.
Exactly. That is exactly the point. I've had people that I've met many, many years ago when I met Julie, when I was heavily involved in a women's networking group. And I haven't been a part of that group since I had my daughter. But I have people on my email list. And I have had people come back 5, 6 years later and say, hey, I need some branding done now, or I need social media help now. Can you help me? And I'm like, I ain't seen you. What do you mean? People that just out of the clear blue sky, you're like, okay, where do you come from? Because I haven't seen or heard from you. But as you're putting things out there, exactly, as you're putting things out there, people are connecting with you. And as you are engaging with people from an authentic place and saying, oh yeah, how you doing? How are you holding up during all this? You have some people in your circle. I have several. I probably have 50 people that I could text message or email and say, hey, haven't talked to you. How are you doing? That we have really close relationship, probably more than that I could say, how are you doing? We have an exchange. And then I know that if they have a need that's in my spectrum in this digital marketing, relationship marketing world, that they're going to refer that business. If they know someone that does, or if they need it themselves. And like you mentioned, I remember years ago, there was this branding project that I was building a relationship with someone who's really one of my really good business besties now. And from an authentic place, we would talk about everything. And she ended up going with someone else to brand her business initially. And I was kind of bummed about it. And I was like, well, Jesus, I'm in her circle, whatever the case may be. But I did not get discouraged. Sorry, pizza's here. I did not get discouraged. I did not say, well, forget you then. You didn't want to give me that project. I don't want to be bothered, because I liked her. Like, she's dope. I want to continue to have that relationship. I continue to cultivate that relationship. And when I tell you the next project that came around, because she has multiple businesses, I got that branding project. I got the social media project for like 2-3 years. Like, we're still connected. She's referred tons of business. Don't write people off that you genuinely like just because they don't come to you the first time.
I got to tell this story.
Tell it. Testify.
I got to tell this story. And hopefully the person's not watching.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to say any names. Okay, so see what had happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was this guy that we really have a strong connection. Really liked him. We became really, really good friends, right? It could be more than friends or whatever. He ended up marrying some other chick. Okay, cool. Best wishes. I ain't bitter.
His loss.
Yes, I was. But it's okay. It's okay. He just married the wrong chick. And for years, I just like, it's okay, dude. You just married the wrong chick. Best wishes. We will still remain friends. We are still friends. Unfortunately, unfortunately, um, he's getting a divorce, right? Why? Because he married the wrong chick, right? So while he's getting the divorce or whatever, he tried to reunite to have this conversation, because sometimes, and I say that to say in business, that's kind of how that works. You start off, you think it's going good, and then all of a sudden they decide to do business with your competitor or with someone else. When you're like, dude, I've been in your face all this time. We can't do business. It's going to be like that, right? But it depends on how you respond to that, which will dictate the relationship from henceforth forevermore. If you respond supportively and say, look, I know it's going to be great or whatever, you married the wrong chick, but hey, I support you. You're good, right? At some point, they may say it didn't quite work out the way I thought it was, or that was there, but I need to now build a relationship, better with you so that you can now do this project, like you said in there. And the personal relationships and business relationships are so parallel in that, because the people that are most successful, they may not have gotten the business initially. There's several people that have went to other financial planners, went to other people, had other speakers. And then when it came down to do another project, which was more money, they then called me.
Exactly.
Even with the website business, I'm here for you doing the website business, but then they decided to hire someone else to do their website. Right. Didn't quite work out the way they wanted, but hey, as long as you got a website.
It never does.
So what happens? Now they want to call me to redesign or to do their website for another project. So, I just have to edify you on that, because it's so true. How you respond to sometimes man's rejection is God's protection.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you did not need to be on that project. You did not need to be in that, in that business relationship. You may not even need to be married to that dude. Man's rejection is God's protection, but it positions you, depending on how you respond, to have even bigger and better later on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to respond with grace. And if it's someone who, like in this situation, we had been doing like coffees once a month, we get together, and I was shocked. And I felt it, and I just smiled and was like, well, I heard she's really good. I hope it works out. It ended up being a nightmare for her. Right? Still recovering from it, but, I hope it works out. And, I'm here. If you have any questions or you need a second opinion, I'm here. From a real place, not being petty, shady, none of that. Just really, I like you. I see value in you, and you're not going to see this with everybody. So I'm not suggesting, that you try to be fake and fake the funk with people, but there will be enough people that you will feel this way about, that you can really, from a real place, say, I understand. I'm here for you. If you need me here, if you need me there, wherever, and be prepared for that. So I know that I don't know where we are on time, but I want to make sure people leave with some tangible points to take away, right? So recap. Number 1, identify your ideal client. It may be tell yourself as much as you possibly can about that person or company. Maybe a brand avatar A, a brand avatar B, primary, secondary. Identify them, find them. Whether it be in a group online, on Facebook, some on Instagram, you connect with them, on LinkedIn, connect with them, find them, follow up with them. Connect with them, virtual coffee or otherwise. I feel in my spirit that in a few months when this is over, there's going to be a lot of luncheons happening. A lot of people sick of being in the house, right? Connect. Find out how you can be of service. Focus on connection versus sales. Right, right. That is true. I think you're right. You're right, Ayana. Is that how I pronounce it? I want to make sure I pronounced it correctly. That you want to, Ayana's put in the chat that you want to be mindful of when you're creating relationships with people, not to think y'all besties when y'all ain't. Still keep a level of professionalism. Don't be messy talking about one to the other, and don't do that.
I mean, as dualpreneurs, I think that's important that you understand that on a work level as well as an entrepreneur level,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And my mom used to tell me this all the time, and I used to mistake the people that I worked with friends, and they weren't. And I told them information that I should not have, right?
Right.
But it's the same thing with new relationships or even business relationships, because you don't know who knows who.
Exactly.
Could be venting, but you're venting, one person was venting about someone who was my best friend, but they didn't know the relationship. And I chose not to tell them, right?
Let them talk.
I just let them talk and let them vent. Yeah, and yes, I did go back to my best friend and say, let me tell you what happened. Now, whether it was valid or not, and I eventually had to tell them, look, I know this person. This is person, my friend, and I had to come to their defense in some respect. But I also had to tell them, you might want to be careful who you vent about, because you never know who knows who. So Ayana is extremely right about that, is that you don't mistake newfound business and entrepreneurial relationships, even though you may connect really cool with, as friendships.
Right. You have to really be professional. They're authentically professional, right? I have had people talk about folks that they referred to me. Because it makes people feel like this. My mom said, look, my mom always saying something, right? A dog will bring a bone, it'll take a bone. So if you're talking about that person to me like this, what are you saying about me over there? It creates a place where there's no trust in the relationship. And just like trust is important in our personal relationships, trust is important in our professional relationships. And when you're being messy and petty, people don't trust you.
I do want to say that depending on who you talk to, that you can be messy, you can be petty and messy, right? Let's just be real, right? There are some people you can be, but
with me you can.
There are some people you can, like, but it's for the people that I have long-term relationships
exactly
for years. They know me, where my heart is, and they understand. And so when I'm being petty and messy, they'll say, stop being petty and messy. But if I just met you, I can't be petty and messy, right? Because I'm sitting wrong vibe. But I have some of my really good friends. They're my professional or entrepreneurial friends. I consider them friends. I can be petty and messy with them. They will call me out on it, but it will stay with us. So you got to know who those people are. And that's,
you don't want to do that with people you just met, is my point.
You don't want to do that. Don't do that. Right.
Or people that you haven't built a strong rapport with. You've known these people. You know what you can say and what you can't. Right? You've already established that trust, and they know not to run back, and you have a rapport, right? So, okay, back to points. Focus on connection versus a sale, especially now. What are you offering to people? Do you have an IFO, an irresistible free offer? Whether it's a 30-minute call, is it an ebook, something free of value that you're giving to people that you have to offer that begins a conversation. Categories or levels, so you know when they. Yeah, making notes is important. So in your CRM, making sure that you're taking notes and knowing how the personalities of different people, where they fall in alignment with different businesses, and who they're connected to. so you don't have that problem, that you talked about. And one thing I want to drive home is be consistent in delivering your content. And even if you don't have time to do all the writing yourself, there's some weeks we just ain't got it. We don't have time or we don't feel like making the video, especially when you're working full time and, coming home and trying to work your side hustle. Sometimes you don't feel, there's some weeks that it ain't gonna get done. But you could be still sharing, curate content. If there's an article that Miss Madam Money has posted that's amazing, share it with your network. Take the focus sometimes off of yourself and put it on to how can I be of service? How can I help her champion what she's doing? Oh, she got a book out? That's dope. Let me champion that. Oh, she got her virtual event? That's dope. Let me share that. People appreciate when you use your audience to further their cause, right? But you have to be really careful who you do that with. So people that you have well-established relationships and you trust the work that they're putting out, you trust that if you refer someone to them that they're going to be, about their business and not making you look a mess and a fool. All righty? So be consistent with delivering that content. What do I mean by consistent? I'm glad you asked. Daily, right? I'm not going to tell you to post 5 times a day like some of the platforms recommend, 5 to 7 times. I'm not going to tell you to do that. Start with once. And for every time you try to sell something, offer something of value in some other way. Share an article, share your blog, share your IFO, feature Miss Madam Money, share her information, share my information, help somebody out. And pick up the phone, email, text, connect with someone that you have not spoken to in a while. Look at your past clients. And if you haven't talked to them in a while, shoot them an email, shoot them a text and say, hey, how are you doing? How you holding up? You okay? That's what puts you back, like you said, to the top of their radar and from a genuine place. And again, the people that are going to survive this time are the people who can build relationships and not be in it for themselves solely. We want to sell our stuff. We know that. But it's a race. I mean, it's a marathon, excuse me. It's not a sprint. Anytime you're marketing, it takes time, right?
So Tashana, before we wrap up,
Sure.
because we're close to the end of it,
Yeah.
but explain to us what services you provide, and then how
Sure.
can we connect with you and utilize some of your services if we need you, because you provide some valuable services.
Yes. So you can connect with me first at Grow with BBS, and I'll type it here on all social media platforms. Grow with BBS, Beyond Business Solutions. And we provide strategic services as well as digital marketing. So social media management, email marketing, really helping you know the why behind it and have a strategy behind it, as opposed to being haphazard and doing a whole bunch of things that don't make sense and aren't yielding you a result. And making sure that your brand is cohesive. So we help with branding services, logo design, graphic design, that whole process of really establishing your messaging and then creating visibility with that, right? Most people come to me because they think they need help with social media and they really have messed up brands and aren't clear. So we all that fun stuff. I have a 90-day program that really allows me to hold my client's hand and go through that whole process of making sure the marketing is nice and the branding is nice and clean. And we devise a strategic marketing plan that we can really execute. I don't do 100-page plans and send you on your way like a lot of strategists do. I like to say that I play in the dirt with my clients So I'm going to give you homework. You do that. I got this. It's really a partnership. So, yeah, that's how you can connect.
So the great thing about it is that for my clients that do the coaching with me and they pay for the coaching with me, it kind of includes Tashana. So you get to work with her when you work with me as well. So that's a great thing because there is that social media strategy and that marketing strategy and that email marketing strategy that's very, very important for being consistent in the follow-up and consistent
Right. And
building
driving traffic to your beautiful sites.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Tashana, for
My
sharing
pleasure.
information. You've
Thank
been
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
I now want to open it up to everyone if you have any specific questions, we have a few minutes to ask Tashana some questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself, show your beautiful face, if you will, and ask Tashana your question. So we'll give a few minutes for that. Unless you did so awesome. Okay. Yeah,
No
Julie.
questions.
Hi.
Hey, Julie.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay.
You did great.
Thank you, honey.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that you came on, Julie, and all of your support with that. What was great about today's session is that Tashana was very thorough and, with the relationships and hopefully with some of my ex relationships, those examples, you kind of get the gist of how it actually plays in there. So thank you again, everyone, for showing up. Ayana, thank you for your questions that you put in the chat. And thank you, Tashana, for addressing those. Through those, I want to give you an opportunity, if you'd like to put on your video to share your business, what you do and what your superpower is, your side hustle superpower, and how we can connect with you. So Julie, while you're up now, share your business, who you are, and how we can connect with you.
Okay, well, I have my license for home and auto insurance, and I work for State Farm. I work for Nate Papillon. His office is on Dallas Highway by the Target there, Barrett Parkway and Dallas Highway there on the corner. I also am a consultant for Canaway CBD products. My heart is really into helping people, and I really believe that you need to have, good health. Otherwise, you really can't do other things that you really want to do. And then also right now I'm in the process of writing a book because both of my daughters are hearing impaired. Thank you. They're 24 and 25 now, but I have a story of when they were very, very little that I would just like to share with other parents to find out that there's something wrong with their child, because there's a grief or a grieving process that you go through, and it can just be really devastating. And I'm a Christian, so I want to make this, glory to God, because otherwise we wouldn't have been blessed. And the girls are doing great now. You don't even know they have a hearing loss. So I just want to, like I said, I want to help others. And now that I'm an empty nester, I have more time to devote to helping people and writing the book.
Beautiful. And how can we connect with you, your website or your social media handles?
Okay, I'm still working on some of that, but I can put my email address on here.
Okay, that would be great. And Ayana or Michi, if you would like to come on so you can share your business. Ayana, I know you need to share something.
Why do I need to share?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So my name is Ayana, and I run the Capacity Coach. And it is a coaching program for women to help them show up. And by showing up is helping them take ownership of their voice and expressing it in a leadership capacity. And my handles are the Capacity Coach you can find that on Facebook, and you can find that on Instagram. So at the Capacity Coach, and then on LinkedIn, it is my name, Ayana Maya.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Miss Michi.
All right, there it goes.
There you
Struggling
go.
with the unmute. Thank you so much, Tara. I am Michi. The name of my business is the Unicorn Tribe. And basically, I am a life and business coach. I use a hybrid approach to help women entrepreneurs that have loads of ideas, but no way to connect their ideas to an actual business plan. So I help those women use their skills, gifts, and talents to monetize those in fun and aligned ways. And I am on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much all the social media under Unicorn Tribe, and that's spelled UNIKORN and then TRYBE, because I'm a unique and so are my clients. So are my clients.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And again, my name is Tara Jackson, aka Madam Money. You may know me as a personal finance expert and financial commentator for different news programs. But what you may know or didn't know is that I have a company called SRJ Business Solutions, and we build websites for small business owners. We believe that every small business owner, regardless of their size, should look like a Fortune 500 company online. So we give you the professionalism, the responsiveness, and the ease of receiving and getting payments that any major company would get. And I believe that especially for women entrepreneurs and small businesses, that we deserve to have the same presence and ease for the level playing field. If you'd like to schedule a consultation to talk about your website needs or what you may need to do, you can do a free consultation with me. Just go to srjwebsites.com, srjwebsites with an s.com, and scroll down and just schedule a consultation. Would love to talk with you. I want to thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Tashana, for coming on and pouring into the Dualpreneurs. We really appreciate you. I want to thank everyone who has come in, my ride or dies, Michi and Ayana. Thank you so much. And thank you, Julie, for coming in. And hopefully we will see you again soon and wish you the best. I want to thank everyone for watching the replay as well as watching live. Just remember, I love you. There is nothing you can do about it. And don't forget, y'all, wash them hands. All right. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you.